Electroheads. I want to talk about something very serious today. Yeah, that's right. Bums. Butts. Buns. Cheeks. Don't look at me like that. I'm trying to be serious here. I want to talk about my bum, and you're just sat there giving me that look. What's so funny about my bum? Right, so it's easy to overlook bums when it comes to cycling. Choose the wrong saddle or put your saddle in the wrong position and you could be in for a world of pain. I know this because I have personally experienced this, and it has sent me on down a bit of a mad rabbit hole of Google searching to try and come to any kind of explanation, which has definitely led to me getting some very strange targeted Google ads.
Hemorrhoids. They burn.
Long story short, I've been on a journey of discovery, and it is now safe to say that my bum and other bits, well, they don't hurt after a longer ride. And so today, I want to share with you what I've learned. And before you think, oh God, it's another one of those videos that talks about saddles, I better click off now, well, don't do it, because there is so much more that I'm going to be talking about today in this video. And secondly, there's a lot of male viewers on this channel. How often do you get to hear a woman talk about her butt for 10 minutes?
Not enough.
Speaking of viewers, 75% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed. So go on, go and hit that subscribe button. So whether you're a budding e-bikeist, if you're just about to buy your first electric bike, or you sometimes hop on a Lime bike, keep watching this video because your butt, your bum, and your lady parts, well, they deserve it. I've been very fortunate with my job. I get to ride electric bikes every single week, and I've never really had a problem before, but in the past 6 months, something did begin to change. And with riding being my bread and butter, I kind of freaked out. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Can I keep cycling? Is this the end of my job? Am I gonna have to quit? Am I gonna have to get back on public transport? Nothing but public transport. So I did what anyone else would do, and I ignored it. Obviously that didn't work, so I finally acknowledged that yes, I do have a problem, which led me down the path of looking up what it could be on Google, and lo and behold, I found that there are a lot of unhappy stories, and in reality, there are a lot of people that are affected by this. It was also pretty clear that this is an area that completely lacks research, particularly for women. In my desperation, I reached out to an old acquaintance of mine from back home. She is a pro female cyclist. She suggested a few avenues for me to explore, like using chamois cream. This is an ointment that you can use that helps to reduce friction between your clothes and your skin. Also, padded leggings. They're made to protect and cushion your seat bone and other bits from the pressure that you get when sitting in the saddle. You can also get fabric or gel padding. Now, gel is the better one to go for. It lasts for longer, but it is more expensive. Fun fact, you don't wear any pants when you wear these. Well, now you know.
Oh, God.
Another suggestion was to hit up a saddle fitting service, and I thought, what the hell? They must do this all the time. So I rang up a place called CycleFit in London, and after having a good chat with them on the phone, I decided to get a date in the diary. I cannot tell you how much I learned about bikes and my body in just one session. Those few hours changed everything for me. I learned more about myself, my skeletal structure, my physical strengths and weaknesses, more than I'd ever learned from a physio, a chiropractor, a surgeon, a PT. I would recommend everybody go and get assessed. By the way, this isn't a paid video for CycleFit. It's just that these guys really helped me out when I was in dire need, and they absolutely deserve a mention. And I honestly, full-heartedly believe everybody needs to get themselves body checked. We as humans are not designed to ride a bike. Bikes are perfectly symmetrical. Humans, we're not. And so what that means is when we do ride, our asymmetry can rear its beautiful head, which can turn into niggles, pains, and in worst case scenarios,
Death.
injuries.
Ow.
So if you get any kind of pain, whether that be in your knees, your arms, your feet, or any of the contact points in the saddle like I had, well, there are things you can do to help. Number one is understanding your asymmetry. Now, this isn't one that you can really do at home. This is something that you need to go and do with a professional, but this can save you a lot of ag in the long run. Vaughan took a closer look at my posture, flexibility, core strength, and even my length of limbs, which flagged a few issues that I never even knew about. Although the pain I get is in the saddle, that seems to be exacerbated by the fact that my feet, well, they actually collapse inwards, which gives a rocky foundation, equaling problems. I also learned that my left leg is just over a centimetre longer than my right, which could be attributed to the fact that I ended up with a sports injury back in lockdown, which meant that I had to get surgery in my left hip at the grand old age of 29. These are minute differences, but if they're not monitored and treated, then it could lead to some more serious issues down the line. So although I'm not a professional, I would recommend, just from my experience, to go to a professional, get yourself seen. Somebody like CycleFit can look at your asymmetry and let you know if there's anything that you need to be aware of, if there's anything that you can do about it. And prevention, it's better than a cure. Okay, next up is something that you can definitely do at home. It's time for a little bit of satisfaction. Little less conversation, a little more satisfaction, please. Fun fact, Elvis was singing about his own saddle problems when he wrote this song. No, he wasn't. Look, saddle height, positioning, and even type of saddle is really, really crucial to get right. So I want to show you how to get to a happier place with your saddle, which can mean less pain, less discomfort, and a lot more riding time. Again, just want to preface this, I'm not an expert, I'm just sharing what the lovely Vaughan at CycleFit had taught me. He is the expert. Just to confirm, I am not an expert. So there are 3 critical measurements that you have to look at with a saddle. There is the height, the fore and aft, and the tilt. Firstly is saddle height, and there are 2 ways that you can go about this. There's the proper way, but there's also a quick fire way as well. So the quick way is a really good one if you need to jump on a line bike or you are jumping on a friend's bike, just when you're out and about. And this is a really easy one to do. So what you want to do is you want to get on the bike and put your heel onto the pedal. You want to fully extend your leg here. Now, if you are overextending or you can't reach the pedal, then obviously that seat is going to be too high. But to be more precise, and this is something that you should do with your bike at home, is a very simple calculation with your inseam. So first, you want to measure your inseam with a simple tape measure. Make a note of your inseam, and then you want to times this by 0.883, and that, my friends, is your ideal saddle height. Let me know if you do this one and comment down below. What's your measurement? Come on, let's all compare. You know what I'm talking about.
No.
But like I said earlier, it's not all about saddle height. You need to make sure that you've got your fore and aft in place. Saddle fore and aft determines how your sit bones connect with the saddle and how far forward your knee is over the pedal. Moving your saddle forwards or backwards changes the range of motion in your hips, your knees, your ankles, which alters your pedal stroke. So this is really important. So how do you measure your fore and aft? Run a weighted string off the nose of the saddle and let it intercept a measuring tape. And this measures how far back the tip of the nose is. You want to use this as a marker and play around with how forward and backwards positioning helps with comfort. So you'll probably need to do a little bit of trial and error on this one. And finally, let's look at saddle tilt. Make sure your bike is a flat gradient. You want to pop a spirit level on top of the saddle. So these are your starting measurements, and from there you can play around with the tilt to see what feels most comfortable. Rule of thumb is to never tilt your saddle upwards because this just isn't any good for your soft tissue. However, you can have it flat or slightly angled downwards by just a few degrees. Again, this is all going to involve a little bit of trial and error, especially if you haven't got a professional with you or one of those really fancy seat mappers that I had with Vaughan, but this is absolutely something that you all need to be doing. And finally, I want to talk about your type. Now, I don't know whether you gravitate towards lean, thick, leathered, athletic, cheap.
Sorry.
Cole, not this again. Honestly, how many times have I tried to do this?
Okay, sorry. Carry on.
I'm talking about saddles. I don't know what you're thinking. Look, there is just too much choice. This could, in fact, warrant its own video in itself, but it is just something that I want to quickly touch upon. I walked into CycleFit with this massive wide cushioned saddle because I thought that's what I needed. When in actual fact, the comfiest saddle that I found is from a, unfortunately, very expensive but gender neutral saddle company called SMP. Its design is scientifically backed, and rather than the industry standard of it being flat, this saddle actually has a curve the shape of your pelvis. Kind of a no-brainer when you really think about it. I mean, I don't know why this hasn't come around sooner, but anyway, it is expensive at just around £200, but it has been the comfiest saddle that I've ever ridden, hands down, and it's hard. So it just goes to show the right shape, the right fit does a lot. There are also cheaper options. I'm not saying go and buy this really expensive kind of saddle. Just make sure that you shop around and just go into a bike shop and try some saddles out as well. It's really important that you try before you buy. Don't do a random Amazon purchase like me. A softer padded style is fine if you have more of a Dutch bike style ride, but the more you start to tilt forward, the more of a lower handlebar that you have with the bike, the more that you can start to put pressure on your nether regions. So you just want to make sure that you're finding a good saddle, one that potentially has a cutout in the middle to relieve the pressure. Just go shop around and just get informed before you put some money down. And so there you have it. Like I said, I've learned a lot. I hope that I've shared some invaluable information with you. Make sure to let me know down in the comments if this did help at all. All I can say is just do it for your bum. Your bum deserves it. Give it some love. If you've come across the same issues as well, get them down in the comments. Let's talk about it. This is a safe space. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.